is Marlene with Dixie Quilters, and welcome to my channel. Hey, glad you could be with us. Welcome back. Welcome if you're new. Hope I'm able to give you something interesting this evening as I put this. I call them a movie. Many people call them videos. I put together a movie for you. And this one is going to be talking about Pie Safe. It's the project that just came in the Fat Quarter Shop box, October, and here we are, November. So we're getting going on our project. I've promised everybody and myself that I'm going to do every one of these projects at least through December. Then we'll decide after that point whether we're going to keep this going. But this is the Pie Safe, and it's using the fabrics from Melissa Gilbert's called Evening on the Prairie. It's a whole design of fabrics, beautiful stuff. Look at these colors. This is one of my finished blocks. And I used the square in a squares, and I did this one is in progress on its block, and this one, it's still connected to its papers. And I thought I'd show you how to do that. I saved one to do with you. And so the things that I'm going to get ready to use would be the add a fourth ruler that came with the box. Right over here. It's an add a fourth. And I'm going to go through the directions with you. I've decided to use the golden dahlias for the center. And the beige leaves and feathers for the four corners. So let me remind myself how we do this. The instructions are right here. Here they are. And they give you so many of them. Man, we could do 2 or 3 more quilts, you know. I mean, you can make a whole quilt using these. And they turn out so nice. I may have to learn to really do this more often. Okay, so the first step is you take off one page of the paper with the lines. It says center the placement of this block right side up on the wrong side of the pattern. And you hold it up to the light to make sure we're covering all the squares. Right side up on the wrong side of the paper. I'm going to just pin that. Then you turn it over. Fold the paper back on number 2. Fold it towards number 1 on the line. And then we take our fancy dancy ruler, and it's got that little lip on it, and you just put that right on that fold. And so it's going to give us 1/4 of an inch, and then we cut off that excess. Make sure I've covered. Yeah, I'm good. Now, I line the fabric for the next placement. So I'm going to take one of my triangles, line it right up there on that. Right sides together. And in line with that, I think I'll just pick up that pin and put it through all of the layers. Okay, and so then we stitch directly on the line. So you get it pinned like that. Then you turn it over so that you can see the lines and you stitch it along this. It's not a dotted line, but it's a line between 1 and 2. So let's do that. Okay, let's stitch on the line. Don't let it get messed up. Starting 1/4 of an inch out in the margin. I think I'm gonna position the needle so that it's coming down right in between where it belongs instead of over there for the 1/4 inch. Okay, is that right? Yeah. Okay, here we go. You'd think that would be easy to drive along on top of that line, but not perfect, but I think it'll be okay. And then we take the pin out and fold that back. And you know, this is where I like to use this little roller. Okay, and then we turn it over and we fold back number 3. So we went to 1, 2, now we're going to do 3. We fold it over right on that little line. So remember, we've got this on the back of it, and we're going to lay that down, face down, and fold this back, and then push that out of the way a little further, and then use our add a 1/4, add a 1/4, and that lip on the ruler goes right there on that fold. Cut that off. And then fold the paper back where it belongs, and then turn it all over. And this is where we take another one. There's 4 matching triangles. And then this goes right on there. Just space, you know, I just position it on there about equidistant on both sides. I pin one time just to hold it in place. I turn it over and drive along that line, number 3 line. And you start 1/4 of an inch beyond where you need to be. Let's see, how do I explain it? I'll show you when I get it done. So on this paper, I started right about here, and then I ended up right about there. And the line is actually right there. So I went about 1/4 of an inch past. Okay, so this is the wrong side. So now when we look at this side, we can fold that down now, and we'll have 2 sides done. Isn't that exciting? Let's keep going. So we have, put my pin back where it belongs. Let's clear up some of these things. Put that in my crystal bowl. Keep this, and this out. This can go in the drawer. There's an alphabetti that can go in the alphabetti bag. And now let's, using this roller, I'm going to open that seam. Okay, so we got two corners done. So now I'm going to turn it over and look at the printed side again. And I'm going to do, we did 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do 4. So I'm going to bend 4 on the line. Now you're going to see that since we went past the line, it's going to pull up a little. So just disconnect the paper from that, but try not to take apart the stitch. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're going to face down and use the add a quarter and put that right there on that lip. Not too much has to come off this time. Now, we turn it back over again and we put it, unfold it. We put this, another one here. Don't stretch those because those are on the bias. Well, I don't want to run over that needle thread, so I'm not going to run over that pin, so I'm going to put it back this way. Okay, so now we've got that third triangle attached. Turn it upside right, and we're going to sew along the line that says number 4. Starting 1/4 of an inch beyond where it's supposed to start. Okay, so we got 3 ears on. I'm going to put the pin where it belongs, and we take my roller. Okay, so now we're going to put face down, and the last ear is number 5. So we're going to bend that up. Okay, so now we're going to do the add a quarter, making sure that that's folded right on the line, and then put that against that. Now this portion over here is keeping it from being it's that paper. You can see why people want to have that very fine water dispensing tip, because they can run that water right along on where the paper is stitched, and then it'll pull apart real easy. You know, I don't know what that's called, but it is, well, I'll come up with the answer to that. So here we are. This is our last line, and the paper is folded back. We're going to put the ruler right there on that crevice, that folded paper, and chop off our extra. Folding back the paper, turning it over, and we're going to put our last piece on, our last ear. All right, so now the final line of stitching is due. So we could see we've got that last one there. I'm going to turn it over and sew down line number 5. Hi, Hannah. there we are. Boy, is that ever perfect. Look at that. Mine always wonky if you know, when I do this, it's all perfect. It's amazing. Now I'm going to use my regular ruler. And I'm going to cut the square on the outer margins of that paper. Let me show you. See where it's gray and then it goes to white on the edge? We're going to cut off the white part. There we go. Clean up a few more things here. And here we have a perfect square and a square. Here's my other square and a square. And as I was laying out my fabrics for my square and a square, I did them sort of color coordinated. So this one is all pinks and mauve, pinks and mauves. Now this one is going to be, it has the green edge to it. So I tried to replicate the center by putting that same fabric out here on the sides. And keep in mind your use of lights and darks for contrast. So this is what this one's going to look like. I still think the green is a little bit out of place, but I'm going to use that green on the border. And what it says to do is to purchase a ½ yard of sienna for the border. But I have taken all of the small print and randomly put it together. And I'm going to cut the, do the border out of this. And so this center green, I'll try to center some of this green next to it, which will tie it together nice. There'll be a white border and then that one. I think that'll be good. This will be the second project that I've taken the extra fabric and made the border out of it in a patchwork basis rather than purchase additional fabric. Let me see it. I have all of my flimsies right here. I think it's this one. Remember when we made this one? This is the Tula Pink fabrics. And I think that was the month that was supposed to be hearts, but I didn't like how they cut the fabrics into pieces to make the heart. So I just made a square and a square snowball type. But on the border, I took pieces of all the different colors and put it together for the border. And I sort of like it. I have yet to get all these flimsies taken care of. But they're all right there. And the borders are on them, of course, but what's that called? The binding. I've got the binding here for this project. I decided to use this fabric. I think that's from Hobby Lobby. And then, of course, I've got my Midnight Owls. This is its binding. And then on my two little dinosaurs, I got its binding. I'll probably use the blue quilt will have the brown binding, and the brown quilt will have the blue binding. Something like that. But anyway, I'm going ahead with the Pie Safe. I have the one block done. This one's ready to put together, and I've got all these additional pieces cut out, ready in groupings of their color coordinated groupings. For instance, we have all these ready to go. They are the little squares, 2 1/4 inch square, plus the 4-inch piece, and that would be these two pieces here on the corners. And these are D and E, which are the additional 4-inch pieces and 2 1/4 pieces. And then over here, these are 2 1/4 inch pieces and 5-inch pieces. So those are all coordinated right there. Those are alphabet C. And I think I cut an extra one because I didn't like the original color I came up with for this block. So there's plenty of fabric. And here's our cornerstones for our border. So we'll just whip this together, and then the next thing I'm going to start after this is I really want to start that It's So Wonderful. So kind of wonderful. I really want to start that. But I'm going to hold myself in check. And I'm going to start the kitty cat with the brilliant purple and blues because that's going to be a Christmas present. So that's next after Pie Safe. And then I think I've also got a next block for the Woolly Whims. So I got to get that going. Along with sandwiching my dinosaurs, and I did buy the backing for the dinosaurs. I bought a fuzzy gray minky-like blanket at, I think it was at Walmart, and it was only $20-something for a king size. So I'll just chop that down and put it together and get it sandwiched and get started on that. Then I have to sandwich my Midnight Owls because that is just so beautiful. I want to get that one done too. So yes, I've got lots of irons in the fire. I have put my my big bee, octagonal bee with the translucent wings. I've put that on hold. I need to get my Christmassy stuff done. And I've also put some other things on hold. What else? Well, I'm continuing with Callie & Co. I'm continuing with the Fat Quarter Shop Designer Mystery. I'm continuing with the Fat Quarter Shop in the Box flowering. But I'm holding off on Rome, the Big Buffalo. And there's a couple more that I'm holding off on. So we'll just give you an update next time I see you. And this is Marlene with Dixie Quilters. And please give me a thumbs up, please. Like my movies, if you would be so kind. If you found something interesting, please like it. And then this is this Pie Safe by Melissa Gilbert. That was that child TV star that has grown up and has come up with her second line. Or I know I've only known about 2 lines that she's come up with. And this one's called On the Prairie. Evening on the Prairie. And these are just beautiful fabrics. Okay, thank you for joining us this evening. Hi, Hannah. And have a good evening, and we'll talk to you again soon. God bless. Bye-bye.